The Beguiled Bond. Chapter 1. Rachelle Simon. Rachelle Simon from Dark Soul Pack. I hereby give to you the power of a battlefield commander. At the age of 16, you just reached a high position that no one had ever done. You were the first woman who stepped in to become one of the best battlefield commanders. And I am obliged to admit that I am so amazed and proud of you. I bowed my head a little as the Alpha King put the gold medal and hooked it in my neck as the sign that I really became a battlefield commander. I murmured thanks to him and gave him my best smile, as he pinned the gold shining badge at the left breast pocket of mine, as proof that I am now graduated to be a soldier and now became a commander. I heard the claps came from the other ungraduated soldiers. I can't hide the excitement I felt. What surprises me really is when the Alpha King whispered when he was finished pinning my badge. I am so proud of you, Rachelle. This day was very reluctant for me to come without my son, the soon-to-be Alpha King. He was in his training for now to become a king. But I skipped looking at him and looking forward to you. I was a little bit surprised that you are a woman with great skills and just became a battlefield commander. I've been anticipating seeing you and now you're in front of me. I am giving you the right award for you. I can't help but say how I am so proud of you even though you aren't my daughter. I got teary-eyed and muttered thank you at him again. Why am I so grateful to him? This compliment was too much to bear. I gave him a bow which showed that I am respecting and honoring him that much. Once more, I glanced at him and say, thank you, Alpha King. I gave him my sweetest smile. I opened my eyes and smiled at one of my best memories I had in my life. Being awarded to be a battlefield commander at my pack was inspiring me. I knew I really deserved to be awarded on this despite the other men in my pack disagreeing that I am now their commander in their training and their war. I knew that they weren't to approve the way I trained them. Well, who would want men to be commanded by a woman? I knew I just hit their ego, but I suddenly don't care about them being an egoistic and a chauvinist. 2. I creased my forehead as I noticed something in one of them where soldiers in Dark Soul Pack didn't run faster in the massive blue track oval mat than the others. I blew my whistle causing him to catch his attention to mine. Use your strong muscled legs. Private. Run faster. You're getting late. What do you think will Alpha Storm say to you? I said snapping at him. He saluted at me. Ma'am. Yes. Ma'am. He said and started to run to chase his other companions who were running at the oval ground. I kept on eyeing them and relaxed a little. I don't want Alpha Storm to say that his men were weak. He keeps on saying to me that I should train his men in his pack, Dark Soul Pack. A pack where I usually belong. I don't want to disappoint my Alpha because he already gave me his trust in me even though he was disagreeing that a woman like me was commanding them. But I knew he understood me very much. He was the same age as me. He was just 20 years old. The same as mine. And last week, we just met our Luna. Her name is Casey. She is a big mystery for me because Alpha Storm never told us where she was coming from. But to all pack, they didn't care anymore as long as we had a Luna. Everything will go well for us. In keeping the men strong, the first workout I trained at them was the Spartan race. I was very strict and I kept on watching them. This training will help them increase endurance and have stronger legs even when they shifted into a wolf form. I also performed various dynamic stretches and bodyweight drills, such as squats, lunges, push-ups, jumping jacks, and dynamic planks. In my study, shows that performing a proper dynamic warm-up improves mobility, reduces the risk of injury, and stimulates the nervous system to improve movement. I also trained myself on my own, on what I had learned since I was training to be a battlefield commander. I also applied it to myself and Alpha Storm's men. Seems you are really very strict, Rachelle. Huh? I looked at my side and I saw Luna Casey walking towards me. My eyes widened on why she was doing this and I was captivated by her beauty. Don't get me wrong. I am not a lesbian. I was just appreciating her beauty. Luna. I greeted her with a bow. I am respecting her not just because she was a Luna but because of her modesty and benevolence. She chuckled, which surprised me, so I looked at her. Just call me by my name. I am not used to it calling me like that. Enough of formalities. I felt reluctant to call her by her name, but I did what she said. I shouldn't refuse her. Okay. Casey. I formed a smile at her. Then I realized something. Wouldn't you suppose at the pack house? I thought Alpha Storm wouldn't allow you to enter this training gym. I said politely, unwilling to offend her. He'll get angry at us. I said worriedly. I knew Alpha Storm. He was overprotective to Luna. Casey. I mean, he doesn't want to let Casey go on in here. And I don't know his reason, though I never ask. My training to our pack members was so violent, savage, and brutal. But knowing his mate, Casey, is I think a hard-headed person. Nah, don't mind him. I'll talk to him later if he approaches you that you let me in. Just let me wander around. I've been dying to see how you train Storm's man. You know what? You're a remarkable warrior. I can't help the blush creeping in my cheeks with her compliment. My Luna was complimenting me. And this compliment was overwhelming me. I murmured thanks to her shyly. She smiled at me and her eyes looked around to other men keeping on training. I wonder if I should try those. I followed where she was pointing it. She was pointing to the sword sparring, my most favorite training. Then she gawked at me. I am good at sword sparring and I want you to be my opponent. Rachelle. My eyebrows all rose. And looked at her unbelievingly at her words. Did I hear it? Right. I wasn't deaf though. I really heard it clearly. What does she say again? Opponent. Does she want me to be her opponent? I am really good at sword sparring, I might add. But it seemed that I wasn't convinced of her that she was good at it. I am a bit boastful, but I just can't believe it. Only me, a woman, can do that. Well, they wouldn't actually let a woman spare her time in training. Men could only do that, but I changed history. I am the first woman who changed all the wrong things they think about us. Women. Men think that women were actually weak and fragile and must stay at home when their husbands or mates were on patrol. But I was so pissed at what treatment they treated us. Women could do what men could actually do. Underestimating us. Women would be actually a conflict to all of us. Our lineage of Eve. But it suddenly shocked me that Casey could actually use it to execute sword sparring. I shrugged it off. For the first time in my life. This was my first time meeting Casey and she was truthful. I knew she was saying the truth that she could do sword sparring. I think. So. I nodded my head and gave her my smirk. Sure. I am always ready to have some opponent who can defeat me with it. Honestly. I am also good at it. I said proudly. Chin up as proof that I am not lying and I am very proud of myself. She gave me her smirk too, which surprised me, but I hid it. Can't wait to beat you. Raising an eyebrow. Saying. Same as you. I could say that she could be a match for me. I always wanted to meet a woman who would like to vanquish me, but still a mystery for me that where in the hell did she really come from, and she has the guts to challenge me. I've been anticipating waiting for this moment to come. She said. Truthfully. I nodded my head. Agreeing. So. When will we start? I want to test your skills. She asked and waited for me to answer. I am afraid you can't do that. I was stiffened by that familiar voice. Even Casey was stiffened. We both looked at our behind whose voices that though I already know who he was. I just want to make sure if that is him or not. As we both turned around. We both gasped his name. Storm. Alpha. I stammered and bowed my head. Okay. I am starting to get afraid knowing that Alpha Storm was here together with Beta Hands. I knew Casey wasn't really allowed to enter the training gym, which I don't know what the lame reason was. I could feel Alpha Storm's eyes darted on me and he even mind linked on me. What did I just tell you? I looked away. Fuck. I cussed. Yeah. This is great. My alpha will surely punish me later because of this. I could see Casey coming over to Alpha Storm. She hugged him from his waist and gave him a quick kiss. Stop it. Storm. It is my fault. Don't blame Rachelle. Didn't I tell you that you shouldn't tend here? I could sense that Alpha Storm calmed down and his voice became fondness, but I could still feel the dagger darting on me. Like he was telling me that we were going to talk after their talk. I mentally rolled my eyes. Just want to see how Rachelle trained our men to pack members. I am so amazed by her. She is so cool. And I even asked her to challenge me by using sword sparring. You know well. I am good at it. She said beamingly. Alpha Storm sighed. You can't do that again. Casey. I don't want you holding those types of equipment again. He said in a serious monotone. Why not? TSK. TSK. You can't make me. Storm. Whether you like it or not. I am going to fight Rachelle the other day. Okay. They both kissed. I looked away and rolled my eyes. This was so disgusting. Kissing in front of us. I couldn't help but sigh. After their talks, Alpha Storm told Beta Hans to escort Casey in the pack house and they left. I walked towards him and gave him a bow as a sign of respect. I opened my mouth to say how sorry I am, but he summoned his hand to stop me from saying it. Don't budge. I can't blame you. My mate is a hard-headed person. He said, shrugging. I totally agree with him. I could see it. I raised my gaze to look at him. I found him smiling. So, you want to agree with Casey's challenge? Surprised. But I hid it. I smiled back and gave him a nod. Yeah. Just curious how she'll fight. I said, shrugging like it wasn't invalid to me. Then I remembered something. Any findings? I asked, trying to mask my worriedness. His smile slowly disappeared. Sorry, Rachelle. But I still couldn't find it. It is quite impossible to find. But Hans and I are trying our best though. I heaved out a sigh and gave him a sly smile. Thanks. At least, you were trying your best. This was bad. I should really find it. I really should. The silence was dragging over to us. We both watched the other pack members train themselves to be stronger than before. I couldn't help but give up all their findings. I know Alpha Storm was really trying his best. He couldn't find it anymore. I think. Alpha Storm was the first to break the silence. Casey's brother will come to visit here. I don't know when he will be going here. He just told me one of these days. So, why does he want to visit here? To see her little sister and to talk to me about some serious business matter. He is my friend. As well. I want you all to be prepared. Okay. I just said. There is nothing I could say to him. It is a little bit awkward though. I gave him an excuse and told him I am going to rest now. My mind started to swirl up and think about how I am going to find what was losing from me. I am just Rachelle, the werewolf warrior woman. I should find a way. Find what was lost from me. Thanks for listening to the Brava Novel audiobook. Welcome to download the Brava Novel app. Read the novel The Beguiled Bond online and get the latest updates.